Hello, David. This is Lila from Odisha, India. So, can you tell me about yourself? Because you are the new one. I have never talked with you before. So, this is my first meeting with you.
Sure, very glad to meet you, Lila. I've been in English-speaking contexts my whole life, and along the way, I also picked up Spanish. I was born on the East Coast of the United States in Virginia and have lived most of my adult life in Colorado, which is right where the plains meet the Rocky Mountains. And every once in a while, I get a chance to join Wes's group with
Yes,
people
right.
interested in English, and I
Yeah.
commend you for helping to organize many people's efforts to improve their English.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I would like to ask you many questions, but I don't think I will ask you the other questions because nowadays I'm learning English and I'm trying to speak like American peoples. So
Oh,
you are
good.
the American one. So you will also suggest me how you will practice English and how you will speak like you, what you are speaking every day in your life. So can you describe a little bit how we will grow and how we will speak like you?
How you will speak like me? Well, I think it's important to just practice and not to be embarrassed. The more that you speak a language, the easier it becomes. Eventually, if you can begin to think or dream in a language, then that is great. I often recommend that people expose themselves to another language through music or other entertainment, movies, and so forth. You have an advantage in learning English because there are so many songs, videos, movies in English. And so you can choose one that you can hear the words, even if you don't understand every word, and then watch or listen to it again and again. If you can turn on subtitles in a movie, that is usually pretty consistent, although not perfect, with the words that are being spoken. And songs, I think, are really great. You can print out the lyrics and then just learn first the chorus and then the whole song and listen to it until you can sing it very easily, even by yourself. And once you're totally confident in that song, you can choose another one and move on to that. And I would suggest choosing songs with a positive message if you're going to expose yourself to it again and again.
Okay. For the means advanced levels English speakers, what are the main things they should focus on that thing? Because
What are the
I'm not.
main
Yes.
what are the main things to focus on in English? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think certainly understanding the many different vowel sounds that we have in English and groups of words. Usually people start out learning words like bat, cat, fat, hat, mat, pat, all these words that just vary a little bit, often by the first consonant sound. And so that's very elementary introduction to English. And then as you develop more vocabulary, then you become that much better at it.
Yes.
Again,
the pronunciation. You're talking
what
about.
is that?
Yeah, you are talking about the pronunciations for the advanced levels. He or she should know how to pronounce the words and how to pronounce a sentence and how to make a sentence structures. And
Sure.
you are talking about that. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
So yes, but I'm listening. I'm doing that things also. And if I didn't understand a words how to pronounce, I also check. I also Google it, and I listen that pronunciations. And I also use a dictionary, Cambridge dictionaries, where I'm listening the U.S. accent, how they are speaking and how they are pronouncing the words. But sometimes I read the books. I'm also reading the books. The book's name is American novels, and there are so many novels. I'm reading a novel that name is Sister Carrie. So
Hmm.
this is written by Theodore Rachers. Yeah, Theodore Rachers. I don't know, but still I'm reading this novel. So do you think that novels can help to us to improve our English if we read a
Sure.
novel?
Anything that you're reading in the target language
Mhm.
will help to expose you to more vocabulary, to different phrases that are put together. You might be careful. Some some books have a lot of jargon or very specialized local type of language. For example, one of my favorite authors is Mark Twain. But that might be very difficult for you because the language that he uses is very country, simple folk type language that you might not find in the dictionary. So you might want to discuss what sort of books you're interested in and ask me, Wes, or other contacts that you have what we might recommend depending on what your interest is.
Yes,
Also, biographies. So novels are great, but
biography. Yeah.
biographies are good. And then there's an author named Michener, Michener, that
Missioners.
is is known for writing historical fiction. So, for example, I live in Colorado, and he wrote a book called Centennial about when the white people, the Europeans and Westerners, started settling in Colorado and encountered the Native Americans here, which we also call Indians, which sometimes gets a little confusing between people from your country and the natives here. But anyways, Michener writes novels based on historical sequences of events. So the people that he puts in his stories, he made up, but it helps to paint a picture as to what actually happened, usually over about a 200-year period. And so that's very interesting.
Yes,
James
exactly. You're right.
James Michener, I
Yeah.
think. Let me
Yeah.
double check.
So, do you think that we should assist to a teachers, though, the teachers will teach us and the teachers will guide us to improve our English? Because
Yeah, I think
I don't
there's
think
a
so it's
lot.
good because the teachers are asking money. They will
Well,
ask you the money you will spend your money. But I don't think I should waste my money because in online there are so many natives and non-natives and also teachers will find and the YouTubers also you will find because the YouTubers are also training in the free course. They are not asking money, and
mhm.
I have been also following so many teachers like you. They are assisting me to improve my English, and so should we follow to a teacher or should we assist to a teacher who will help me and we should give the money to him or her?
Well, if you can afford a teacher or a course, then I would encourage you to do that because of the consistency and the focus the teacher will bring to you. The teacher will have a curriculum in mind that is a whole series of points to work through and help you master one part after another. And uh, the worker is dignant of his salary. So a man or a woman teacher is spending time, valuable time, in helping the students. So if it's possible to pay the teacher, I think that's good. But as you point out, there are a lot of free resources out there. And if you're very
Mhm.
disciplined, then you can make some very good, quick progress in a language. I am interested in Portuguese and Italian, but I have not been disciplined in the study, nor have I studied that officially. And hence, after decades of such an interest, I am not fluent in either of those languages. But Spanish, I did have many years of study and many more years of practice. So I can see both sides.
Okay, great. So how often should we concentrate on our pronunciations, on our accents? Because if we focus more more time on accent. How should we speak and how should we speak like the American peoples? Then sometimes we also get frustrated because of that things we can pronounce, we can speak like you, and sometimes we also get stress when we are speaking English. Basically, I got many stress. I get many stress when I speak English also, because I think in English and I speak in English, so it is very difficult for me because I speak four language and
Mhm.
I'm thinking in my mother tongue. But
Mm,
nowadays I'm trying to think in English. But if we have less vocabulary, it's not possible to think in English also.
mhm.
You can imagine how I'm getting many problems while I'm talking with you. So
Sure.
how can I will means cut that things like or like that things when speaking English.
Oh,
Cut.
little filler words.
Yes.
Well, I've been trained to try to avoid filler words through Toastmasters.
Mhm.
I think that Toastmasters is an international organization. If you have one, I would encourage you to associate with them, and they will have you practice speaking and removing the filler words, the oh, ah, ums type things.
Yes.
So that's just a matter of discipline and practicing and being silent while you're looking for the next word instead of
Yes.
just filling.
Yes. So do you also use these things while we are talking with others?
I try not to use filler words again because of my training with Toastmasters. They helped me learn to avoid that.
Great. So yeah, we should avoid that things because that is taking times. And if somebody is listening to me or to others, if there's somebody using these things, then that won't help to others also, and that won't interest to others to listen. So I should
Right.
avoid that things also.
So back when I was young, there was a phenomenon or a
And
cultural craze called Valley Girls. I
mhm.
did want to point out that around the world, there are many different ways to approach English. Maybe the biggest difference is British English versus American English. And you being in India are highly influenced by the British English, and they have some different spellings, usually some extra vowels, and some different vocabulary from American English. And that's rather subtle. If you can just keep an eye open for that, then that will help you. And if you're speaking to an American, it's great if you can shift into an American type of vocabulary and pronunciation. But if you're speaking to people in India or England, then it might be more effective to remember how they speak in England. In the United States, there are also many different accents. Up in the Northeast part of the United States is one accent. In the South, there's another. In Texas, it's similar to the South, but a little bit different. Throughout most of the middle of the United States, including Colorado, there's not very much accent. But the Valley Girls I mentioned were popular, especially in Southern California. And singer Frank Zappa's daughter made a song that was really making fun of the Valley Girls. And they would talk like, I want to go like, to the mall and do this and that.
Yes.
And this is what they sound like, yeah. So, yeah. So
Oh, great.
that's a very unsophisticated speech by a population that typically has too much money that they don't know what to do with. And then if you
Okay.
listen to country music, which I enjoy country music, those are usually simpler people with very basic messages, but maybe the grammar is not so consistent. So there's some
Okay.
little subtleties that someone like me can help you understand what to look for and how to filter out what is coming.
Yes. So, which which TV channel should I watch to improve my listening skills? Because I'm watching so many content from YouTube, and I'm also uploading on YouTube many contents if I
Mhm.
think that we have to others also. So, should we uh, watch any channels that channels can help me to improve my listening skills, like any live streams, any live TV channels, the news. So, which the news channels do you watch?
Right. So in general, the news is very difficult because it's designed for a native speaking population, and they have a lot of information to give you. So they speak very fast, and it's one thing after another, and they shift from one person to the next like that, very fast. But there is or there used to be anyway, a website called something like Slow News in Spanish, probably Slow News in English. So that's on the internet, that's not television. But you might do a search and see if you can find slow news in English. And then you would have professional people speaking at an understandable pace about things that are very current. Personally, I tend to watch old television shows from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, so my youth. And um, I said, told you I'm trying not to do that. There's Me TV, which is maybe memorable entertainment TV, and Antenna TV. Both of these are channels that I can pick up over the air. I don't have to pay for. And I tend to switch between those channels to see old television shows that I used to like.
Is it
Like,
available
I
on YouTube? Can I watch?
can you watch those on YouTube?
Yes,
You can look for Me TV and see whether that's on, or Antenna TV.
and then TV.
So before we had cable or dish, we would have antennas up on top of our roof, or at least sticking up out of the television set, and it would just pull signals out of the air. And that's what I have. I have an antenna up in my attic, just below the roof, above my bedroom, and and then there's a wire that goes down to the TV, so that I can pull enough channels to keep me satisfied without having to pay for television service.
Yes. Yes, I also believe some YouTubers are really doing great works. They are providing many things to learn English and to gain knowledge from theirs. So I
Mm-hmm.
am also following many YouTubers, and I have subscribed many YouTubers, and so I have motivated from them. Though, so that's why I have also created a platform where I'm learning English and I'm also sharing my knowledge. And I am also asking to others, those are really willing to talk with me, those are not finding any partner to speak English. I am always ready after end of my official work. I'm always ready to talk with them. So I'm also sharing my knowledge. So today I done a conversation with you. So really I enjoyed this conversation. And thank you very much for sharing me this kind of channel link. I really like to watch, and I will watch definitely.
Yeah, there's one other link that I want to get to you. I'm finding it. It's on YouTube, and trying to find the right link.
Okay, sure. You
And
can share the link.
uh, looking, let's see. Very good. Well, you're making good progress, and I commend you on the effort and organization and sharing what you're learning along the way. That's great.
Okay, yes. So how long should I take to practice to improve my English? Because it's depend on me, I know. It's depend on
Right?
my knowledge and on my practice. If I will practice a lot, then I can speak a lot.
Yeah.
So
Well, I would encourage you to practice at least an hour a day if you can dedicate that much time. That would be very helpful.
Yes.
If you have the flexibility to do even more, then that can be good, but you don't want to get yourself too tired. And if you can spend some time immersing yourself in an environment where people don't speak your other languages, they only speak English.
Yes.
And maybe there are some places in your city that have that in a church or a school or some other sort of organization. Maybe they will speak almost only English. And if you can spend some time there each week, then that will also help you to practice a whole lot.
Yes, exactly right. If I spend time with a good environment, if I spend most time, those are speaking, those are listening English. But it's not possible because in my state, the majority people are speaking our mother tongue, and only the well-educated people, those are working in offices and those are in higher levels, they are only speaking English. And yes, I can talk with my family members also because my family members are understanding little bit English, but they are not able to speak English very much well. And but I try to speak. If I also even I also know that person is not understanding what I am speaking, but I really like to speak in front of them because I'm practicing.
Right. Yeah, that's good to practice. I've been working with people from India for many years, and we've had some nice young men from India living with us. We have one right now. And so I have developed an ear that I can usually understand what someone from India is saying. Oh, one other thing I wanted to point out to you. Have you ever seen the movie Outsourced?
Outsourced.
Right. So outsourced is when usually an American company wants to find cheaper labor, and so they hire an office in India or China or some other country to do their work. In this particular movie, a company that sells a lot of things is moving their call center to India, and
Yes,
the
I think I have.
American needs to go to India, and the lady that is co-starring in that movie does a very funny job, very effective job of imitating American speaking.
Yes.
So if you haven't seen her doing that, then
But I'm not sure I have watched that movie or not. Can you share the link if it is available in YouTube?
yeah, I'll send you the IMDb link.